What would you like to know this day and have revealed unto you? Would you be willing to change according to the information that you have received, that you feel have ramifications? Are you willing to change? Or are you so brittle? Has life wrung out of you its curiosity, its ability to explore, explain, inquire, laugh, enjoy life, enjoy other people? Of thinking not like you think? Are you willing to do a new thing? Are you willing to have a new beginning? Are you willing to learn from you, through you, by means of your own word? What words are you eating? Or are your words eating you? Do your words provide you an energy system that is complete and lacking nothing? That creates the completion of the Creator? That new beginnings start with? The fallow ground being hard no more? What is your mind capable of? Not dominating your spirit anymore? Or are you spiritual, not religious? Or are you willing to come into the right questions? Well, what's more important, the right questions or the right answers? I suggest to you that God teaches by asking the right questions at the right time, the most powerful questions, the simple ones. What do you want? What are you willing to learn? What are you willing to prevent no more from being you, me? Will you be me? God asked. Who is willing to bear the mind of Christ? Pardon me. To bear it, to open it up, see what's in it, see what it will teach you in here, in your neuron-based farm, the kingdom that you control, or the kingdom that controls you in it, by all the thinking that's been done for you, that's programmed you by its algorithms. Pardon me. Is a word an algorithm that simply runs on your mainframe or your little processing unit? Or are you connected to the processing unit of everything everywhere and everybody? Wow. What are you willing to do for you? To you? Through you? Will you let healing come through your hands? Through your lips? Through your eyes? What kind of beams are you asserting, protruding? What are you the preponderance of? Whose words are you bearing? Whose words are you living by? Who dominates you? I ask you to dominate you, not by your thinking that has been given to you, asserted, promulgated, pummeled, beat into you by the media, parents, culture, church. Will you be your own word? Releasing your word to be it. Are you willing to learn from the Most High that you are it? Or must you conform every piece of information to a brittle way of thinking that is nimble not, but stagnant, and gives you the old covenant, a life remaining in classical physics? What of the quantum world? What are you willing to know? Are you entangling bits of information that reside in each other's universe, each other's mind? What kind of matter is going forth as I speak, or as you speak in the mirror? What is your mind doing to you? I ask you to be not dominated by your mind, that thinking has eroded the light thereof, the originality of the Creator, for you to create the Creator again and be not subservient to anything. Will you think it not robbery to be equal with God? Will you condemn not your own perishing nature? What kind of nature do you have? The nature of the Creator? The nature of the healer? Who will heal you first? Will you think it not strange what you do now, what you hear now? It's all changing, my friends. The revelation of Christ brings a revolution. A revolution in authority of authority. Will you walk in your authority? The power of your authority, the creativeness of your authority, and be not subservient to man and the genes of religion or the words? What's programming your genes? What genetics do you have the power of? Gosh, pardon me. Coffee fixes everything. Well, almost. Are you willing to learn from the original you? The original you that you were before you existed in this thing you call tangible? Are we submersed in a web of deceit? Are we immersed in our neurons? Are our neurons using us? Or will you use them to be not condemned by you? Will you not condemn each other? Will you be the light this day, speaking your own word, true and faithful, to your kingdom that you came from long ago? Father's house, the Bible may speak of, where all things were provided for you because you sat at the king's table and you ate the king's words, the king's fare. And you had no memory you wanted to segment, no mind that you wanted to shield from each other. Nothing was hidden. Laid bare, everything will be now. Everything that has been done in secret will be known. Everything that people have tried to hide will come out and be known. And it's not far away. You'll see it in your lifetime, won't you? Hear it? What are you afraid of? Are you being fearful no more of the other fellow, another woman, another company that you might not have enough to eat or shelter? Who are you, O Creator? Creator of creators you are. With your words, by your word. You are the energy of, the sustenance of. Sustenance. Do you like that word? What sustains you? What condemns you? Will your word condemn you no more? Will you let your mind take authority over you no more? That pummels you day after day with the thoughts of mankind. The thoughts that this is the real world? That you are limited, finite, and you're not worthy to be at God's table? What kind of heresy is that? Is that the blasphemy that the King of Kings wants to eradicate in this world, this present day, the thinking of? Are you willing to quit condemning you and each other to death? To discipleship? I don't want you to be my disciple. I want you to be you, the real you, the original you that connects. And networks how? Without syllables? Or do you use them now? Or do you use them for now? To break through the veil? So that you operate in the intangible world seamlessly with the tangible world? The spiritual world, the classical physics world, the quantum world? What kind of world are you in? Why will you limit yourself, oh God, to one world when you created the universe of you? When you look up at the stars at night and see gazillions, bazillions, or how many you may see with your naked eye, what do you think of? What can there be out there? Who can that be? Do you establish your thinking by movies? Think all aliens are out to get you? Come diminish the earth or demolish it? Rape it? Or is that what the mind did? Does your mind use your power? What power do you have, oh God? Will you have the power to be you? Will you arise in it? Will you think it not robbery to be equal with God? Will you do all the works that Jesus did and more without being fearful? Without being finite? Or will you be the infinite one? Will you be Christ? Will you be Christ in your shoes, woman? Woman king? A lot of authority will be broken now. And people who have submitted in marriage, in subservience to some set of rules that someone else devised, is going to melt. When you have authority that you know you have, that you didn't know you had, but now you know you have, in a present day setting, this moment, what will you do with it? Mature it, please, I pray. I pray to you. Mature your power. Come into your authority. Grace it with beauty, compassion, loveliness, and get out of the subservient mode and be no more compliant, nor seek compliance or complicity with that which diminishes you. Rise up, O King. Women and men, I call you kings. King is no more a male noun. Use it as a verb. King yourselves. You are the King of kings. What does the King provide? The knowledge for you to grow up and be what it is and establish your kingdom. Are you going to create a planet? Wouldn't you like to? Or are you afraid to? Or interstellar travel? Are you afraid? Are you afraid to dematerialize and reappear somewhere? Teleport? Be telepathic. What will you do if you take the shields off of you, the blinders? Will you believe in classical physics no more? Or will you use them? Or will you master them so that they master you no more? What are you willing to learn, O God? O Christ, O woman King? God is not a male. Pardon me. God is who will be it. who will mature their mind to create a new beginning. A new beginning what? A new beginning. Creating a new creation. Born again? Will you birth you by the knowledge you have into something that creates quantumless fields in, or magneticless fields? Will you be magnetically driven no more? Will you attract thought which confirms yours no more to corroborate and validate your pitiful thinking, your pathetic thinking, or your infinite thinking? Or are you the infinite Christ? Who will you be with this day? And what are you allowing to influence you, to come into your kingdom of thought, your realm of kingdomry? I ask the right questions, don't I? Or have I been given them? Or am I surrendering to think, to speak surrenderedly, even as I'm recording like this, extemporaneously? Is something speaking through me? Or am I it? One with it, one consciousness. What will you create this day, O King? King of your own demise no more. Will you assume nothing is correct? Or what will you validate as the creator? How will you create truth? What will you decide in your heart? What rings true? Just because a lot of people believe something and may have believed it for centuries doesn't make it correct. The blind lead the blind a lot of times. And there are many people on the pew now who will leave it because they realize Christ was them. They were the Christ, and the Christ story is about them because it's about you. That's what I assert. That's what I offer you, the knowledge thereof, that you free it in you for you to be taught through you, your word, so that your word no more condemns you. That you lay down before the thoughts of man no more to be subservient to its rules and its authority. I suggest to you, we're coming into a time where divorce courts will be full and overflowing everywhere. Because the religious model is no longer attractive, no longer dominant, no longer the magnetic force which provides your world sustenance in your mind. What model are you no more emulating? Are you running things through a compiler no more, which compiles you in its image? What kind of code are you running? Whose algorithms are you the result of? The Lord God or God? Or are they different? Is Genesis 1 creation different than Genesis 2? Oh yes, mightily. What is Israel? It's about a story. The great allegory has given you much information, but there are those who want to concretize it and say, this is the way. You're the way, I suggest. The way is in you. The kingdom of God is within you. Look not to the right or the left, for the kingdom is within you. You're it. But if you don't know it, you're like a person in a far country who doesn't know the language, doesn't know the rules, doesn't know the accepted protocols. What is the protocol of heaven? What are the rules of the infinite? What is the social order of angels? Wouldn't you like to know? Be one? Are you willing to fly? To teleport? To walk on water? To heal people? Your friends? Your enemies? Or do you have any enemies if you are light? If you are not subject to the authority of your enemies, why would they worry you? Can they incarcerate love? They do so by words. Your enemies teach you you have no power. So lay down and worship God. Be subservient to the authorities that authorize themselves to be the agents of God. I suggest to you, those are your enemies. Live by a set of rules. Those are your enemies. Set you free. You will this day if you're willing. There, have I said it enough? Have I said enough? To get me in trouble? It doesn't matter whether you seek Allah, God, Christ, some state of bliss in your definition or not, because God looks on the heart. The motive, the intention of love. What are you creating, oh God, this day in you? A heart of joy, a heart of healing that will heal you in the mirror. And when you put on your shoes every day, you realize they're the shoes of Christ. 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 Christ means anointed. Who will you anoint? What words will you give birth to this day? And what arrangement to control your thinking no more? That you're under the authority of another and that you must do his will? I suggest the king makes kings if it's a king of love. And it's not dependent on gender. Or preference. What are you willing to create, O God, this day? O King, O Christ, O woman, O man? Will you create one consciousness of inclusion? A vocabulary you didn't know you had? an energy that you didn't know existed, that would exist in you, that would be you? Do you give up you to be the original you? Do you give up your limitations, your isolation, your dependency on syllables? What do you want this day? What are you willing to be? No more the knowledge that keeps you confined. Will you wear your word? Will you be it? Will you know the difference between light and darkness, truth and untruth? Will you be a flow of stagnancy no more that confirms your arrogance, your self-corroboration that you're thinking right? Why do we want to believe we are right so much? Fear that we won't be accepted by someone on our right or left? Where are you looking for your words? Look inside. The energy of truth you are. Perfection. Singularity. Quantum truth. Subservient no more to the angels' hell, held here in flesh. What are you willing to come out of? Your body? Your mind? Or no more be controlled by it? What are you willing to give up? Damnation of each other and yourself? Will you exonerate you? Will the exaltation of Christ be you or each other? Or are we all one? What are we willing to learn? What are we willing to mature? What are we willing to lay down? What are we willing to look up online? Are you willing to look up in my words who you are? My words? Words that came through me? Words that come through me now? Online, at my website, theodorcottingham.com, you can search the first 2,400 messages that God gave me that form database one. My covenant, the new covenant, the covenant of promise that you would form your own with the word that you are, that you flow, that you create, that you unlimit yourself with. What are you willing to know and understand this day? O God, O King. What will you dress like? How will you speak? How will you carry yourself? What kind of wisdom are you willing to operate in and through? What will you do with your newfound powers? I suggest God teaches you every day whether you know it or not. You have the mind of the King, Source, Universe. There is no other but you, your power. And what you are powering may not be the real you. If you are powering deceit and deceptiveness, wouldn't you like to know it? Wouldn't you rather create light, joy, laughter, happiness, and let confusion no more reign in the conflict of your mind? Your word is truth, pure truth, light, tainted no more by want. I have no desire to exalt myself. Whatever desire I have can be said quite easily. You, to be you, the real you, the original you, the you that doesn't need to work for minimum wage, you that doesn't even need a dollar, shekel, ruble, yen, mark. I suggest it's all changing, and the day of the Lord is here. The regeneration is here. Love creates love. Love promotes love. And those who want to sew you in a flesh suit with their rules, classical physics, bound by religion, religious terms, and being under the authority of another, is going the way of the cross, not. Or will you crucify the opinion you had that you were right? Or will you crucify your ego, your wantsmanship, gamesmanship, your placation with this world? What are you willing to come out of? Will you come out in a new body, a new creation, a new consciousness, completing the Christ now? In school, a school of Christ. Oh gosh, imagine a school of Christ where God has given the curriculum, the source of all light and truth, speaks to me and will speak to you, through you, with your own pen, mouth, tongue, your word, to create, to recreate you with a heart of flesh, the living new covenant, the living word. And that's what the living word is. The new covenant is operation of recreation. You in originality's form. So I submit to you, the day is cataclysmic. Look up the day of the Lord, regeneration. Look up curriculum on TheodoreCottingham.com. Look up curriculum and begin searching surrenderedly, reading surrenderedly, poking around. Go explore it. See what you find. Current events, past events, future events, names, places, dates. Oh, you might be surprised. 8 or 10,000 pages of data. Search it, see what you find. Be afraid no more of learning who you are and establishing a new identity. One that relegates you to dispassionate life no more, but the passion of the King that's no more on a cross. See the allegory for what it is. See the life of Jesus as it is, the pattern. Read the 5 booklets I've given you on my website, Jesus the Pattern. Trust me, trust you. Be discerning. Come with an open mind. Come not controlled by your mind of the past that has conquered you. To be sitting here, a race of angels, going to church, conquered by religion, a planet of angels that think they are finite and human and must conform to socio-economic theory or political correctness, social mores, and you hung stars in space. The thinking which diminishes mankind may cease not, but all of the thinking that diminishes the angels and cuts their wings off is powerless. Love demands freedom. I stand in love, of love, I speak love. Let you go. Learn, mature the Christ mind, the consciousness of the one, the beauty of holiness. Come into the Holy of Holies, where you sit still, listen, write the words of truth that conquer you not, but complete the Christship of you are the one. Namaste. My name is Theodore Cottingham. You can email me any questions, comments, whatever, about the school of the 21st Century Christ, at TheodoreEureka@gmail.com. TheodoreCottingham.com. Theodore Cottingham and Eureka for now, loving you to free you. And be the real you, the original you. Light, love, peace, and joy to you, my friend. Loving you always and forever. Yes. On one bended knee, I bow before you. And I honor you for who you are, who you really are.